In a stunning royal twist, King Charles has officially begun handing over the throne to Prince William. And the first consequence? Queen Camilla is stripped of her royal title. As Catherine rises, Camilla steps back. What really happened inside the palace? The truth is more dramatic than anyone expected. The royal shock, a throne transfer like no other. When King Charles, now in his 77th year, makes the decision to hand the British throne over to Prince William, it shakes the royal foundation like never before. This isn't just a father passing power to his son. It's a constitutional and emotional earthquake within the House of Windsor. Legally, such a transfer means the crown and all sovereign duties immediately shift to William, transforming him from heir to monarch in an instant. The crown never dies, as palace officials often remind the press, but this time it feels different. For the first time in over 7 decades, the monarchy witnesses a voluntary handover of power. This move brings an unexpected consequence. Every royal title connected to Charles must now be reviewed, especially that of Queen Camilla. Her position, directly tied to Charles's reign, becomes uncertain the moment William takes the throne. Insiders whisper that the palace legal office has already begun analyzing the fine print of titles and duties tied to the monarch's consort. And here's where things get tense. Camilla's name is at the center of it all. Will she remain Her Majesty? Or will she step down into a quieter role, her crown only a memory? The mood inside the palace is split. Some loyalists see the transition as Charles's final act of love toward his son, ensuring the monarchy stays modern and relevant. Others see it as a betrayal to Camilla, who stood beside Charles for over 50 years through scandal, heartbreak, and rebirth. "Every crown comes with a price," murmured one royal aide after the news broke. Supporters of William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, celebrate this as the dawn of a fresher, more admired royal era, while Camilla's camp braces for a storm of humiliation and lost status. And this storm has only begun to form. As titles shift and influence changes hands, the real question becomes, what happens next to the woman once called the most controversial queen in British history? The answer begins with understanding what her title truly means and why it matters more than anyone expected. What is Camilla's title today, and why it matters? Before the chaos, Queen Camilla carried the full title of Queen Consort of the United Kingdom, officially adopted after September 2022, when Charles ascended the throne. Initially, plans were very different. Back in 2005, when she married Charles, Buckingham Palace publicly declared she would be known as Princess Consort when her husband became king, a softer title meant to respect public sensitivities after Princess Diana's tragic death in 1997. Yet, in the end, that promise quietly disappeared. By the time of King Charles III's coronation in May 2023, the word consort was officially dropped. She became simply Queen Camilla. Royal historian Hugo Vickers explained that this move was in line with tradition, since under British common law, the wife of a reigning king automatically becomes queen. "It's not a promotion," he said, "it's the natural order." Still, that natural order didn't sit well with everyone. Many Britons never fully accepted her as queen. Polls from YouGov in 2024 showed nearly 40% of respondents still preferred she kept the consort title, suggesting a quiet but strong resistance among the public. To them, removing consort felt like rewriting history, an attempt to erase the shadow of Diana. Others defended the choice, calling Camilla a steady hand beside the king after decades of turmoil. Now, as Charles passes the crown to William, this very title, Queen Camilla, becomes fragile. It's tied not to her, but to her husband's reign. Once Charles steps down, the title dissolves in its current form. Her Majesty will revert to a secondary role, defined not by her marriage, but by royal protocol, noted a senior royal correspondent for the BBC. This sets the stage for a new era, one that's bound to redefine the hierarchy within the royal family. With William and Kate Middleton rising to the top, Camilla's place and her title are under quiet but inevitable review. And that brings us to the heart of the matter. When William becomes king, what exactly changes? What will Camilla be called? Where will she live? And what power, if any, will she hold? The answers are complex, and they reveal just how delicate royal life can be when crowns begin to shift. The scenario: William becomes king. What changes? When Prince William becomes king, the transformation inside the monarchy isn't just symbolic. It's seismic. Everything connected to King Charles III's reign begins to reset. And the first person caught in this storm is Queen Camilla. As soon as Charles steps down, whether through abdication or natural succession, Camilla's title of Queen Consort no longer applies. That designation is tied directly to Charles's position as sovereign. Without a reigning king as her husband, Camilla's legal and ceremonial status must change. Most experts agree she would then become Queen Dowager, a historical title reserved for the widow or former consort of a monarch. But Camilla isn't the Queen Mother. She isn't William's biological parent. That role belonged to Princess Diana, whose legacy still overshadows everything. And that's exactly why the palace now faces a delicate dilemma. What title will Camilla carry when she no longer sits beside the king? Tradition says one thing, but public perception says another. Royal insiders told the list that William has the right, and possibly the intention, to reduce Camilla's public visibility. He's been clear he wants a slimmed-down monarchy, one former aide revealed in early 2025, and that vision does not include his stepmother holding an equal title to his wife. Once William becomes king, Kate Middleton will instantly become Queen Catherine, taking on the full ceremonial and diplomatic duties of a modern queen consort. Camilla, meanwhile, is likely to fade into the background, holding a secondary title and performing only select appearances, if any at all. The transition isn't just about names on paper. It's about power, visibility, and emotional messaging. The moment Camilla is no longer queen consort, the palace must decide whether to style her as Her Majesty, the Queen Dowager, or drop the Queen title entirely. Even more drastically, she could be referred to simply as Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, returning to the name she held before 2022. These decisions will shape headlines and royal biographies for decades. But the emotional intensity around the word stripped fuels public reaction. And while Camilla may not be literally dethroned, her title, relevance, and authority will be undeniably altered. Which leads us to a crucial question. When we say she's been stripped of her title, are we speaking legally or emotionally? Why stripped off is misleading, but useful for drama. Saying Queen Camilla has been stripped of her title sounds like royal scandal at its peak. The words evoke drama, punishment, maybe even disgrace. But the truth? It's a lot more nuanced and a lot more calculated. Under British common law, the wife of a reigning king automatically becomes Queen Consort. There's no formal ceremony needed to grant the title. It's inherited through marriage and monarchy. So when Charles is no longer king, Camilla's title doesn't get taken. It simply expires with his reign. This happens quietly, by protocol, without the need for confrontation. Still, stripped makes a better headline, and the palace knows it. They also know the optics matter. In media narratives, Camilla's title ending as William rises will be seen as a demotion, no matter how gently it's handled. Historically, the monarchy has used similar strategies. When Wallis Simpson married Edward VIII after his 1936 abdication, she was denied the title Her Royal Highness, despite being the wife of a former king. And while Camilla isn't facing exile like Wallis, the playbook of silent rebranding remains eerily familiar. Insiders have hinted that William's team may avoid using Queen Dowager entirely. Instead, Camilla could simply be addressed as Camilla or revert to Duchess of Cornwall, a quiet way to phase out her presence without drawing criticism. "It's all about tone," one royal commentator said. "They'll do it softly, but it will be firm." This approach avoids legal complexity but delivers emotional clarity. It tells the public the era of Camilla is over. The focus is now on Queen Catherine, the woman many in Britain already see as the rightful queen, the one who carries the memory of Princess Diana into a new generation. Even if there's no legal order revoking her title, Camilla being left out of speeches, events, and programs sends a loud message. In this way, stripped becomes true, not by law, but by exclusion. And behind that exclusion lies a world of royal authority, quiet, powerful, and well-documented. So how exactly does the monarchy legally change or remove a royal title? That takes us deep into the world of royal letters, patent, protocol, and the few people on Earth who can redefine a queen's name with a single decision. The legal mechanisms behind removing or altering titles. In the royal world, nothing happens by accident, especially when it comes to titles. Every shift in status, from Duchess to Queen to Dowager, passes through a system that's old, precise, and tightly controlled. So, when the day comes that Camilla's royal title changes, it won't be because of emotion or public opinion. It will be because of law. The main tool behind any royal title change is a formal document called a letters patent. These are issued by the reigning monarch and legally define who gets which title, when, and under what conditions. For example, in 1917, King George V issued a letters patent limiting the use of prince or princess to the children and grandchildren of the sovereign. More recently, in 2012, Queen Elizabeth II used the same mechanism to allow all of William and Kate's children to be styled as princes or princesses. So, when King William takes the throne, he could use this same authority to redefine Camilla's role, or remove the use of queen altogether. It would be as simple as signing the document, sealing it with royal approval, and making it official through the London Gazette. The Privy Council may also be involved, though not always. And in extremely rare cases, Parliament can step in, like it did when Edward VIII abdicated in 1936 and became Duke of Windsor, losing all sovereign authority. That precedent reminds us that while the monarch leads, the system has checks. But here's the twist. William doesn't have to remove Camilla's title publicly. He can simply stop using it, and over time, so will the press, palace aides, and eventually, the public. It's what royal insiders call soft removal, a strategy used before in Princess Diana's case when she was referred to as Diana, Princess of Wales, after her divorce, even though she technically lost the HRH style. There's also a limit to what can be undone. Some royal honors, like orders or decorations, are lifelong, unless revoked for cause. But consort titles are linked directly to the monarch. When that monarch is gone, the title has no anchor. "Every title begins with the crown and ends with it too," said constitutional expert Dr. Bob Morris of UCL's Constitution Unit. This puts Camilla's fate directly in William's hands, and few expect he'll choose to keep her in the spotlight. So, what will Camilla actually be called next? It's not just a formality, it's about how she will be remembered. And that brings us to the most pressing question of all. What is Camilla's new title after the throne passes on? Camilla's possible titles after the transition. Once Charles is no longer king, Camilla will need a new title, and the options are limited. The most likely choice, as agreed by multiple royal commentators and legal experts, is Queen Dowager. This title, though respectful, marks her as the former consort of a previous monarch. It carries no current authority, only historical relevance. Queen Elizabeth. The Queen Mother held a similar title after the death of King George VI, but the comparison ends there. Unlike the Queen Mother, Camilla is not the mother of the current king. She is William's stepmother, and that matters. Because of this, she will never be referred to as Queen Mother, a title that implies maternal lineage and continued reverence. There's also the option of referring to her as Dowager Queen Camilla, a term that has fallen out of public use but is still technically correct. It places her title in a past tense context, indicating that her time as queen has come and gone. Some insiders believe this phrasing may be used in formal documents, but avoided in public life to prevent confusion with Queen Catherine. Another possibility is that the palace may opt for a modern solution. Instead of emphasizing Queen, they might rebrand her as Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, the title she held before September 2022. It's elegant, familiar, and less politically loaded. This move would also echo the treatment of Wallis Simpson, who was titled Duchess of Windsor, never princess or queen, despite being the wife of a former king. Some speculate she might be styled Her Majesty Camilla, Dowager in court circulars or formal invitations. But again, the use of Her Majesty may be phased out entirely to avoid a two-queen confusion with Kate, now assuming that role. And finally, there's a wild card option. Camilla could choose to step back completely, taking on no title at all, appearing only in private settings or family functions. While this may seem extreme, it would align with William's vision of a modern, streamlined monarchy where only core royals play public roles. Titles change. What matters is how they're used, one royal aide told The Telegraph in 2023. And in this case, how Camilla is styled post-transition won't just reflect protocol. It will send a clear message about where she stands in the future of the monarchy. Up next, beyond the title, what exactly will Camilla do once her time as queen consort ends? Will she continue to appear in public, or will she be quietly pushed aside? Her role? Post-transition, from center stage to supporting act. As Queen Camilla's title begins to fade, so does her role. Once Charles is no longer king, Camilla's public duties, appearances, and even residences will come under immediate review. What once required a tiara and spotlight may soon become a life of silence, shadows, and soft exits. According to royal analysts, the moment William becomes monarch, Camilla will likely be asked to step back from most public engagements. She may still attend family ceremonies or memorial events, but the days of standing front and center beside the king will be over. She's no longer the consort to the sovereign. That changes everything, said a royal protocol officer in late 2024. In recent years, Camilla took on over 100 patronages and championed causes like domestic violence, awareness, and literacy. However, sources close to the royal household believe that Catherine will absorb many of those roles as she becomes queen consort, and younger royals like Princess Charlotte or Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, may take on the rest. Another question is where Camilla will live. Will she remain in Clarence House, or will she be reassigned to a more private residence? Much of her current housing is tied to her position as queen. If she no longer holds that title, those privileges could disappear. Some reports even suggest she may relocate quietly to one of Charles's private estates, like Highgrove House, to avoid political friction. Still, insiders say William may allow her to maintain a ceremonial presence, but only if it supports the monarchy's public image. "He's not cruel, but he is strategic," said one former staffer. "If Camilla staying visible causes distraction, he won't hesitate to act." Royal politics will also shape Camilla's fate. Behind closed doors, Kate Middleton, now Queen Catherine, is said to be assertive and cautious. Her influence will shape decisions about who is seen with the new monarch and in what capacity. It's unlikely she'll want two queens confusing the public or the press. And make no mistake, the courtiers will be watching too. These are the same advisors who coordinated Queen Elizabeth II's decades of diplomacy. They know how to sideline someone gracefully, without ever making it seem like punishment. As Camilla transitions into her new life, one thing becomes clear. Her public voice will grow quieter, her appearances fewer, her influence near invisible. And as she fades, the spotlight grows stronger on someone else entirely. Kate, the future face of the crown. But not everyone will go quietly. And the public? They are already choosing sides. What comes next is a media firestorm that will divide the royal fandom. Those who back Camilla, and those who believe her reign never should have begun. Public reaction and media storm. If there's one thing the British public never ignores, it's royal drama. And the moment whispers emerged about Camilla losing her queen title, the reaction was explosive. As soon as reports hinted at King Charles preparing to hand the crown to Prince William, social media lit up. But the talk of Camilla being quietly removed from power? That's what broke the internet. Tabloids moved fast, with bold headlines. Camilla pushed aside. Queen no more. Kate reigns alone. On platforms like X and TikTok, royal fans split into camps. One viral tweet with 2.3 million views read, "She was never our queen. She wore the crown, but it never fit. Kate is the one we've been waiting for." Royal forums quickly divided into Team Camilla versus Team Kate. For many older watchers, memories of Princess Diana still define how they see Camilla. Younger fans, raised on the crown, view her as either a villain or a survivor. As Diana tributes surged, so did comparisons. Her iconic 1995 Panorama interview resurfaced, fueling narratives of justice and redemption. "This is Diana's crown coming home," declared one royal podcast. The palace stayed silent. No comments, no corrections. That only increased the speculation. Courtiers whispered to the mirror, "The Queen understands the transition. She's stepping back with grace." Still, Camilla's fading presence, updates on the royal website, and increased visibility of Queen Catherine suggested a quiet reset in motion. Whether Camilla is willingly stepping aside or being gently removed, one thing is clear. The storm is real. And in the center of it stands a woman whose name continues to divide the kingdom, even as she disappears from it. Risks, conflicts, and backlash. Stripping a royal title isn't just paperwork. It's politics wrapped in emotion. If Queen Camilla is quietly pushed aside, behind-the-scenes tension could erupt. Sources say she's grown into her role and won't want to be erased overnight. A former aide told The Times in 2024, she knows how to send a message, by showing up or not. If Camilla resists, even subtly, it could strain her already cold relationship with Catherine. Charles, even post-abdication, may push back, splitting the palace's united front. Historian Dr. Anna Whitelock warns, any sign of division is seen by the public as weakness. Legally, William has the power to redefine her title, but if it appears personal, critics and even MPs may object. There's also the legal gray area. Camilla might not sue, but changes affecting her housing or allowances could spark friction. Most dangerous of all, public backlash. If the press frames her fall as cruel or uses Diana's legacy against her, it could tarnish William's early reign. With every crown placed, another quietly falls. And how Camilla responds could shape not only her legacy, but the future of the monarchy itself. The aftermath, how history will remember this transition. When the royal dust settles, Queen Camilla's legacy hangs in the balance. Will she be remembered as a loyal consort who stepped down gracefully, or a woman forced out by history's weight? If she embraces her role as Queen Dowager, or returns to being Duchess of Cornwall, she may fade quietly into the royal background, respected but rarely seen. Her decades beside Charles, her work in charities, and her 2023 coronation with him may soften her final image. Still, Diana's shadow looms. With Queen Catherine now front and center, many see this as poetic justice, a crown returned to its rightful line. Documentaries and royal retrospectives are already casting Camilla as a transition queen, a placeholder until the real royal future arrived. Inside the palace, her portraits will vanish from halls, her name whispered less. In time, younger generations may know her only by name. But if Camilla keeps her head held high, avoids drama, and sticks to her own quiet words, "I just needed to be useful," then maybe history will give her something rare: peaceful respect. As one queen's story ends, another begins. And the world is already watching. Camilla's reign is ending, not with ceremony, but with silence. As Queen Catherine steps forward, the monarchy turns a new page. Stripped of her title, Camilla fades into royal history. Was it justice? Was it strategy? Either way, the crown has spoken, and the future now belongs to William and Kate.